With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series fires things off in round number 2 of this championship chase. That's right, chase race number 3, just about ready to get started here tonight. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. This 1 mile concrete jungle going to put drivers to the test there. You can see a little track information on the screen for you. Track cooling down 2 degrees where it was in happy hour. We're now sitting at a 67-degree track temperature here in Dover, Delaware. Nice sunny afternoon here. We'll see if Miles grabs any of the drivers here in qualifying, as 5-minute qualifying session has already begun. Multiple drivers already getting out there on track. Chad Osborne getting up to speed. Todd Craig going to be the first driver on the speed charts. He'll put down a quick lap. He'll stay Top of the board for the time being with just 60 seconds off on the stopwatch. Cray with a quick time, 22.670. Looking for Justin Gann, see if he's out there on his time lap, and there you can see last week's race winner. He's beginning to make his way off of pit road as the fans begin to file into the stands. Craig going to go ahead and pull into pit road. His second time, not as quick as that first time out there, but Craig still sits with the pole position right now, 22.670. And as I was saying, here at Dover, very special little way to watch the race right in that, excuse me, the tunnel that kind of goes over the track. Very coveted spots to watch a race. You'll get no other perspective like it in NASCAR, in the world of racing, I should assume. Haven't seen a feature like that at any other tracks now, as we are 2.5 minutes into this 5-minute qualifying session. Todd Cray still sits at the top of the speed charts. Jason Ayerson, Nick Hunt round out your top three. Fast time by the 41 of Pierce Maffitt. He's got his Toyota Supra looking fast as Jarrett Lipstruer goes third on the board. Fast time out of the Busch 32 Ford Mustang of Darren Clement. He'll go sixth with his first time lap. 2 minutes down now as Justin Gann goes top of the speed charts. Last week's race winner at Pocono Raceway goes to the top of the board with a 22.65 seconds, just barely squeaking by Todd Cray, who's going to fall back to that second position, and Gann going to go ahead and shut it down. Crew chief in the air saying, "You got the pole." He's going to go ahead and shut that lap on down, and it looks like maybe one or two other drivers out there still to put in their time lap. Nobody really left here tonight. It looks like about 17 drivers for the grid here tonight. So the concrete monster already scaring a few of the drivers. Few of the drivers not making it here tonight. Let's take a look at some of the list there. I believe Roy Fernandez, one of those drivers that has not been able to get to the track here tonight, so he's gonna fall short on trying to have a good run here in the chase. Fernandez went to victory lane just about a race or two ago. I believe it was 2 races ago. Fernandez took that top spot away. A big shout out to Roy over there watching the big boys play here this past weekend in NASCAR at Michigan International Speedway. Roy doing having some fun with the boys up there in Michigan, representing Turn 3. Loved all the pictures. Looked like it was a great time at the track. And with just about 30 seconds remaining on the stopwatch, we're going to take a brief commercial break, step away from the track. We'll head back trackside with your national anthem and in your starting lineup. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in out, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And back trackside as drivers make their way to the starting grid. We'll take a brief little moment, check out the championship standings coming into tonight's race, chase race number 3, here in season number 3 for the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. Justin Gann, last week's race winner, this week's pole sitter, sits at the top of the point standings, just 8 points in front of Darren Clement, Nick Hunt, Pierce Maffitt with Jim Thorndike in the 59, rounding out your top 5 in the point standings. You can see those drivers from Jim Ott on back. They are on the outside looking in already as we begin round number 2. And drivers look like they are making their way to the starting grid. So we'll get a little bit closer to the action. Get ready to go. Once again, here at the Turn 3 Racing Network with Swift Motorsports Breezy Acres Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. You can hear those familiar bells in the background. It's time to run down tonight's official starting lineup for chase race number 3, grabbing the top spot with a 22.657 and qualifying the 30 of Justin Gann. Fast as always, just as outside, the 22 of Todd Craig. Back in row number 2, the 44 of Jason Ayerson and the 96 of Jarrett Lipstra. Row number 3 here tonight, the 17 of Tommy Haynes and the 00 of Nick Hunt. Pierce Maffitt, Darren Clement back in row number 4. Row 5 tonight, the 4 of Jim Ott, followed by the 98 of Hunter Collier. Row number 6 tonight, the 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr. and the 24 of Jeff Glockner. Jim Thorndike, John Osborne back in row number 7. Row 8 tonight, the 56 of John Wimbish and Michael Mueller. Gary May also on track. Andy Starcher, Don Kidder up there in race control, and we are set and ready to go for the first time here tonight. Drivers off of turn 4 and green flag flies for the first time as the boss man, Upstate Allen, contact in the front stretch. Driver into the inside wall. Oh, that was Stephen Ayers Jr. He has trouble on lap number 1. Trouble early here tonight for Stephen Ayers Jr. He's going to have some trouble on the start of the race here, lap number 1, and already one driver to pit road. Stephen Ayers Jr. has got to bring that 31 down, and he is going to be in damage control very, very early. That's not going to be an unfamiliar sight either, race fans. Look for these drivers to struggle a little bit here. That's why they call it the Monster Mile, the concrete jungle, the high banks here at Daytona International International Speedway. About called it a super speedway. Kind of races like a fun park. A lot of fun, in my opinion, compared to Talladega and Daytona. You got fast speeds, you got high banks, you got quick corners, all wrapped up with the concrete right here in Dover, Delaware at Dover International Speedway. Todd Cray still trying to chase down Justin Gann right now for the top spot. John Wimbish making his way by Jim Thorndike back in the back. That's going to be for the 11th position. Now Michael Mueller gets by Thorndike as well. Thorndike drops back to the 13th position as the front two continue their nose-to-tail dance down the front stretch back to turn one. Gann continues the lead. Drivers single file at the front of this field already. Let's go back here. Let's take a look at these drivers sitting just outside of your top five. That's the 41 of Pierce Maffett. He's got the Auto Owners Insurance number 4 of Jim Ott closing in on him. Nick Hunt, Hunter Collier right there in the background on screen right there. You can see that 00 of Nick Hunt. Had a great run going last week at Pocono. We'll see if he can't follow up the good run with another solid run here this week. Much different tracks, though. You go from the tricky triangle to a small, close quarters, high bank track like this here at Dover. I just dropped my pen. Sorry, I had to get my pen. Oh, Lordy. How about that 96 of Jared Lipstruer? He was fast last week at Pocono. That 96 Rowdy Energy Machine looks good once again up here inside the top 5. He sits in the 4th position, has Tommy Haynes tucked in behind him. A trio of Toyotas run nose to tail back down into turn number 1. We've got a fast forward out front, followed by 2 bow ties, and then that trio of Supras starting to chase them back down. Jim Ott sitting back there in 7th. He's starting to close back in on Pierce Maffett once again. A little bit of a break back to Nick Hunt. There you can see him. Hunter Collier right behind him. Back behind these drivers, another battle beginning to develop. Ooh, contact there. You can see Darren Clement, the front of Darren Clement's car. Look at this off of the corner exit. Darren Clement's nose a little bit beat up here. Maybe there was some contact. That may have been what got the 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr. sideways on the front stretch on the initial green flag of tonight's race and into that inside safer barrier. Put 2 and 2 together, and that very well may be what happened. Battling for positions back behind them, we'll take a look at this little group of cars. John Wimbish, Chad Osborne, Jeff Gluckner now under fire by the Serb Pro 59 of Jim Thorndike. Thorndike now looks to grab it, and he's going to get that position. Here comes the 10 of Gary May in the throwback Mountain Dew Chevy Camaro. He's going to grab that spot away from Gluckner as well. The iRacing Drivers World sponsored 24 having a little bit of a rough go early in tonight's race as we come out of turn number 4 and back across the line. Lap number 13 now underway. Your pole sitter Justin Gann has led every lap. You can see Gann drift up through 3 and 4 just a little bit more than Todd Cray. Cray able to hug the inside just about 1 lane further down on the track. I wonder if that's going to come into play a little bit later. Is Gann saving some tires? Is Cray using up the tires, keeping it in that lower lane? Long green flag runs here at Dover International Speedway. We've seen that throughout the past, not just here on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator, but also in real life. We've seen those long green flag stretches here at Dover, and we have seen a race or two come down to fuel mileage. Todd Cray now under fire. Jason Ayerson looking to make up a spot on the track. Harrison hot on the trail. There you can see him going right across your screen, up close and personal. And back across the start-finish line, they'll head into 1 and 2. Once again, Cray starts to build that gap. One more time as Jim Ott is going to make his way by Tommy Haynes, the 17 Budweiser machine, struggling a little bit here with the late race pace. Ott going to put himself in front of a massive string of Toyota Supers here. Tommy Haynes, Pierce Maffitt, Nick Hunt, Hunter Collier, Michael Mueller, all lined up on the track, all running those Supras. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, we're starting to see more and more Toyotas hit the track week in and week out here in the Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. At the beginning of season number 3, we've seen just a handful here and there, 2 or 3 Toyotas out there, and now we're seeing 5, 6, 7 of them out there on the track, giving a lot of these other manufacturers a big run for their money. As you can see right there, 3 Toyotas nose to tail trying to get by the bow tie of Jim Ott. Ott's got that auto owner's insurance machine looking pretty quick here. Looks like he's gained 5 positions on the speedway so far tonight, but not as many as the man back in the 51, Michael Mueller. There you can see him right there. He's going to try to close in on Nick Hunt. Mueller up 7 positions from where he started tonight's race. We will jump around the track just a little bit, try to bring you some more action out there. This is one of your closest battles on the speedway, so we'll stay right here for the time being, as now Maffitt has closed in on that Budweiser 17 of Tommy Haynes. Haynes continues to try to track down Lipster, but to no avail for the time being. We stay green flag racing here now. Lap number 20 underway out of the 150 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. 20 in the bag, 130 to go. And let's see who we've got out there in TV land watching us over there on the YouTube side of things. If you are joining us via Twitch or via Facebook, we do appreciate you joining in with us here tonight. But head on over here to the Turn 3 YouTube channel. Check in with the chat here. We can play a little game. What do you say here? I'm thinking these drivers are going to be able to push it 52 laps before they come down for a green flag pit stop. What do we got out there in the chat? Let's see if we can't get anybody to guess the right amount of laps, and you may just find yourself with a little bit of prize. Let's see. Got to make things interesting, right? Drivers making it interesting on the track right here. Pierce Maffitt trying to get around the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Maffitt seems to have the pace right now inside of that 41. Look to drop to the inside, and he's going to delay that move for the time being. I think that's going to be enough to keep him back behind that 17 of Haynes right now. Haynes continues to keep the 6th position. They'll cross the line. A little bit of a gap built right there, about a 2-car linked advantage for Haynes as he head back into 1 and 2. Here comes Maffitt at the bottom. Big run out of turn 2. He's going to look back to the inside. No, not going to take a shot as they enter turn 3. He'll stay back in 7th. Oh, a little bit of contact with the outside wall. The 96 Rowdy Energy sponsored Toyota Supra of Jarrett Lipster. He's going to make some slight contact with the outside wall. One driver already claimed here tonight by Miles the Monster. Will we see many more? I would expect you'll see a few of these drivers rubbing that outside concrete barrier. Nick Hunt, Darren Clement going at it back here 9th and 10th on the speedway. Clement with some heavy damage on the front end of that 32 Busch sponsored Ford Mustang. And again, we said it earlier here tonight. We're only 27 laps into this thing, but we've seen a driver sideways on the initial drop of the green flag. Stephen Ayers Jr. in 31 sideways on the initial drop of the green flag and into that inside safer barrier. And with the front end of that 32 a little bit beaten and battered already, put 2 and 2 together, and I think that's where that contact came from. I think that's where the carnage was made, but check out the double O of Nick Hunt. Nick Hunt, he's got some damage on his rear deck lid as well, so multiple drivers with some bent up pieces on their race cars early here tonight. Jason Harrison was able to get by Jim Hott for quite some time, was able to get by Todd Cray. I apologize. Now Jim Hott has made up another spot. He's going to take the spot away from Todd Cray. Cray falling through the field after sitting second on the starting grid. He's going to drop 2 positions all the way back. I say all the way back to 4th. All right, we got a 35-40, between 35 and 40 on the pit road. We'll see if you get that one right. Tommy Haynes, Darren Clement still going at it back there through the field. We'll check back in with this little battle as they've run down Pierce Maffitt, as Maffitt has lost quite a bit of ground to Michael Mueller. About a half a second separate those 2 drivers. Chad Osborne in the 5, the last driver in the running order right now, still out there on the track, sitting at about 16 and a half seconds back. He's going to have a rear view mirror full, I would say, here in the next 10 laps or so. Quick pace out of Justin Gann at the front of this field. Big time gap by Gann. He's opened up almost a 2.5 second advantage over the 44 of Jason Harrison, who's going to have Jim Hott beginning to close in on him. Let's check in with the 44. There you go. He's going to cross the line back down into turn 3, turn 1 and 2. With the 4 starting to see him in his windshield. Drivers are going to start to close in. Let's jump back around the track once again. Small little heated battles everywhere all over this 1-mile concrete track. We've got drivers towards the front of the field battling with each other. We've got drivers just outside of the top 5 on screen right here. Pierce Maffitt in the 7th position. He's got Darren Clement hunting him down. And just behind Clement is Tommy Haynes. Haynes has dropped 4 positions from where he started tonight's race. Headed backwards right now in that 17 Supra. The double O of Nick Hunt, he's also dropped 4 positions, running in a solid 10th position. Oh, and Lipscher into the outside wall. The 96 pancakes it off of the outside wall coming out of turn number 4. He's going to drop a few positions here. Lipscher now back to the 6th spot and almost into the outside wall once again. Struggling now after contact is the fast 96 Rowdy Energy Toyota Supra. What I say, Jess? How many laps do you think will go green flag, Jess? On a fuel run, how many laps do you think we can get that done in? I'm still saying 50 laps. These drivers are gonna be able to stay out for at least 50 laps. That's what I'm gonna call. As Tommy Haynes looks to the inside now on Pierce Maffitt. Maffitt going to drop 2 positions from where he started tonight's race, from the 7th spot all the way back now to 9th. I say all the way back, and now a big moment off of turn 4. Tommy Haynes going to leave the inside open once again. Maffitt going to look to take that position away as they head off of turn number 2, back down the back stretch once again. Looks like one of our cameras may have fallen off of its perch. We'll have to check in on that when we go to a commercial break, possibly, maybe. If we see a caution flag fly here tonight, the past 2 evenings, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, your home for Swift Motorsports. We've seen 2 clean and green races. That's right, flag to flag, green flag action in the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Airs High Racing Paint Torque Menard Series, as well as the Butt Kicker Performance Truck Series. Texas Motor Speedway hosted 2 hot ones Monday and last night. Another hot one on our hands here. Lap number 41 already underway, and it looks like, well, see, yeah, Jess agrees with Dave. Looks like we've got one guess already off the boards. I don't think they're going to be able to stretch it 90 to 100 laps on a fuel tank. That's just going to be absurd right there, trying to save the tires for 90 laps. That's a lot of time on some tires. Nonetheless, let's jump back around the field just a little bit. Back to that 96 of Jared Lipster. There you can see a lot of contact, a lot of damage on the right side. Crew going to have to work fast when he comes to pit road, because it looks like we're going to see ourselves under green flag pit stop conditions here. I would say hopefully in another 7 laps, and I can be right on something. Darren Clement able to get by Jared Lipster. We're back a handful of laps ago for the 6th position. Lipster was still trying to hang on with some damage on the right side of that Rowdy Energy machine. But how about Michael Mueller, that 51? Let's go see him. Let's highlight this man right here. Driver sitting inside that 51 machine. Absolutely flying out here tonight. Michael Mueller's made up 11 positions, and green flag pit stops underway. Jason Harrison, Jim Ott going to come to pit road on lap number 45. We were pretty close, but let's see, I believe this man right here. Let's check in with him. Outside pole sitter here tonight, Todd Cray, going to head off into turn number 3. I think he was playing some fuel strategy. I think he was playing a little bit of games already here tonight, and look for him to maybe extend this run as Justin Gann's going to pull to pit road. That's going to give Todd Cray the race lead for the first time here tonight. So now just our first lead change of the race. Second leader of the race, Todd Cray. No, he's not going to extend it very much longer. He's going to go ahead and pull to pit road here on lap number 46. So, I mean, Jess, we were right there. Nick Hunt now going to take over the race lead. 3 different leaders now. All happened under green flag pit stop conditions. 2 lead changes. Will Pierce Maffett, Tommy Haynes try to stay out on track and grab a point for leading a lap. Those are drivers that they're not necessarily in a bad place in the point standings coming into chase race number 3 here in the 5-race championship run for the trophy, but not necessarily locked in either. Nick Hunt really extending this run. Tommy Haynes, Gary May, Jim Thorndike, Hunter Collier, as well as Jeff Gluckner. They're going to pull the pit road. Just 2 drivers left out here on the track, Nick Hunt and Pierce Maffett. It looks like Maffett a little bit slow. Drivers may be running out of fuel here on lap number 49. Will Hunt come to pit road this time by? Looks like he is going to slow on the track, and he is going to pull it to pit road. He gets it stopped in time. Pierce Maffett, there you can see him going by, making his way to pit road. A little bit of puff of smoke as he locks him up, getting down to pit road speed. But here comes that undercut by Jim Ott, and it looks like he's going to go to the top of the scoring pylon. Can he get around a handful more of the drivers right here? Yes, he does. He's going to come across the line this time around and take a lap led as the official race leader. That's going to give us 3 different lead changes, 4 different race leaders here tonight at Dover International Speedway, and it looks like, well, 49 laps. You can stretch it. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's going to be a little bit interesting, though, here for drivers like Jim Ott and Jason Harrison. They were both the pit road back on lap number 44. They're going to have to stretch this thing to get a little bit closer on fuel. Pierce Maffitt ran 49 laps. If he can squeeze another 49 out, or possibly a 50-lap run, he's going to be able to stop just that second time and make it to the end of tonight's race. So fuel strategy already in play. Most of the field will have to make at least a third stop for a splash and go. When will we see the strategy really begin to unfold? John Wimbish almost into the outside wall. Big correction for Wimbish as race leader Jim Ott puts that 56 Texaco Havoline machine one lap down. Wimbish gonna be the lucky dog here, and Jim Ott fast on and off pit road. Pit crew doing their job of 1480 in his pit box. 5142 on and off pit road. Just about looks like 1, 2, 3 drivers beating that pit road delta of Jim Ott. And how about the time given up? 2 laps for Justin Gannon, Todd Cray. Difference on the tires with Jim Ott and Jason Harrison. And look at the timing and scoring over there. 3 to 5 seconds back. Jim Ott with that undercut gained a ton of track time. As we are about a third of the way through the race, what do you say, race fans? Why don't we run down a little bit of driver highlights and spotlights? Sitting in the top spot, taking command of the race lead after the first round of green flag pit stops. That's right, Jackson, Michigan's very own Jim Ott leads tonight's chase, race number 3 here at Dover International Speedway in the Swift MotorSports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. Jason Harrison sitting in second. There you can see him, the Carlton, Michigan native, going to make his way up right behind the 56 of John Wimbish, who is 1 lap down back through the field now. Justin Gann, your pole sitter, early race leader, led until the round of green flag pit stops began, and Gann now sits in third. There's Pierce Maffitt in the 41 machine just behind Justin Gann. He's trying to get himself back on the lead lap. Back to the driver sitting in the 4th spot. The Infinite Warrior Pets in Paradise. 22 machine of Todd Cray. Will we see that fast bow tie get back to the front? He started outside pole position. Todd Cray sits in 4th. Gonna leave it right here with this man as we highlight him for not only being the last driver in the top 5, but being the driver with the biggest moves of the race so far here tonight. Up 11 positions from where he started tonight. He's got his Toyota Supra fired up, and he is running in the 5th position. Started all the way back in 16 out of the 17 car field here tonight at Dover International Speedway. That's going to do it for the driver highlights and spotlights. Let's stay right here with this little battle. A lot of drivers mixed up right here. Few of the drivers on the lead lap, few of the back markers right there as Justin Gann has got Todd Cray all over him. Jim Thorndike just off in front of him. There's the 10 of Todd Cray just in front of Thorndike. A little bit of a stack up back through the field, and Cray's going to look to the bottom. He's going to look to make his way around the 30 of Justin Gann. Gann's going to keep it powered up on the outside. Here comes Michael Mueller. A 3-car battle here. How about that 5 of Chad Osborne? He's been able to gain a few positions here tonight. Stephen Ayers Jr. getting back out on the track, trying to gain all that he can after that early hard contact. He sits 31 laps down. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, let's talk about this man right here. Jim Ott leads the race, almost a 2-second advantage now for the driver in that Auto Owners Insurance number 4. Ott coming right at you. How about that? Hello. crazy good race so far here tonight. Michael Mueller, Todd Craig going to go at it for 4th and 5th on the speedway. Justin Gann can breathe easy for a moment, as Todd Curry had to regain some composure there. You can see him still looking to the inside, still looking to take that spot away from Gann and put himself back into a podium position. And Gann, I mean, he's trying to close some distance as well. He started on the pole here tonight after walking away with the checkered flag last week at Pocono Raceway. He's going to look for back-to-back wins here tonight at Dover. See if he can't close that gap in the winners column as well. Todd Cray, only driver to get to victory lane 5 times this season. That's right, 5 out of the 13 races have been won by the driver sitting right here inside his Chevy Camaro. What do you say we go down, take a look at the man putting in the work right in the office of Todd Cray. There you can see him right there, gripping the wheel, gripping the grain down into turn number 1. Another little perspective, driver cam right here. Do appreciate Todd Cray allowing us to put a few of these cameras on board to bring you some great camera angles from around this beautiful 1-mile track nestled right here in Dover, Delaware. And the fans have filled the stands. Look at that. That's a beautiful sight to see out here trackside with Swift Motorsports. Drivers already about halfway through the fuel run, and Jim Ott is keeping, if not gaining, ground here on with a great pit stop, great pit in and exit, and he has found the track time, and he has translated that into a growing gap at the front of this field. 17 cars started tonight's race. We have still got all 17 on track, with just 9 drivers left on the lead lap. Pierce Maffett in the 41 machine. He's had some great runs as of late. Let's check in with the 41. There you can see him right there closing in on Jason Ayerson. So he's going to begin to get himself in a position to get himself back on the lead lap. But right now, sitting in that lucky dog spot, he's going to hope your race leaders don't get up there and around Tommy Haynes right now. Haynes, here's Maffett's best friend. We'll check out that 17 Budweiser machine. He's going to cross the line. Darren Clement getting passed by Nick Hunt back here just 1 lap ago. Let's go check that battle out for a brief moment. There you can see the Gardner manhood depends 00 of Nick Hunt working his way off of turn number 4. He'll cross the line, lap 71. Now underway out of the 150 scheduled in tonight's race distance. We are about on the doorstep of that halfway point here, and Jeff Gluckner just behind them. He's having a little bit of a rough go at it here tonight, still sitting outside of the top 10, running in the 14th position. That's going to be 2 spots back from where he started tonight's race, up in the 12th spot. Gluckner having a rough go here tonight. Texaco Havoline 56. John Wimbish, a little bit of a rough go at it here tonight as well. Gary May struggling quite a bit here at the concrete banks of Dover International Speedway. He's going to take a spot away from John Wimbish that time by. And you know, this is a little bit of a rough go here tonight. Seriously, for this 56 of Wimbish. We've been accustomed to seeing Wimbish at the track, and we've been accustomed to see him running well. A little bit off pace here tonight. A little bit of a struggle inside of that 56. We'll have to see if the second half of the race is any better for the driver inside of that Texaco Havoline 56. John Wimbish struggles outside of your top 10. Back to your race leader, the man at the front of the field. He'll make his way off of turn number 2. And as these points begin to matter, as drivers try to separate themselves from the rest of their chase competitors, we're going to have to keep in mind next week's cutoff race will decide which 8 of these Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series drivers makes it to Homestead Miami Speedway with a shot to lift the trophy. And Jim Ott is doing what he needs to do. Ott was sitting outside of that top 8 coming into tonight's race. Sitting, I do believe it is 9th in the point standings coming into tonight. 26 points back behind points leader Justin Gann. So Ott really needed to have a great run here. He really needed to have that top 5 or a podium finish here tonight. And it looks like he's doing exactly what he needs to do to get the job done. He sits at the front of this field with a 3.3 second advantage over the 44 of Jason Ayerson. Michiganders leading the field here at Dover. What's up with that? Back here with Nick Hunt. He's going to look to the inside of Jarrett Lipstewart. Caught that battle out of the corner of our eye, so we jumped back to it just as the double O pins dropped to the bottom of the track and took the position away from Lipstewart. Lipstewart, ever since that contact on the right side, you can see the front end crinkled up just a little bit, but a lot of damage going down the right side of that Rowdy Energy machine. And that has slowed the pace for Lipstewart. He has dropped outside of your top 5. He sits back in 7th. Let's jump around a little bit back to Pierce Maffett. There you can see his 41 machine trying to see if he can't find some pace. Been struggling a little bit. And there you can see that 4th place driver now, Todd Cray, in front of Gary May. They are working their way around this track and beginning to put drivers not just 1, but 2 laps down here tonight. From Miles the Monster, that's right, the Concrete Jungle, Dover International Speedway hosting chase race number 3 here in season number 3 for the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. And as drivers have already crossed the halfway point here tonight, if you haven't already, join us in the push to 3K, because you've already helped us get to 2,000 subscribers. Let's continue that push. Let's drop these drivers those thumbs up. Click subscribe, smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And Darren Clement, Todd Cray, they're going to pull to pit road this time around. Jim Ott stays out on track, and Mueller into the outside wall. And if you've already subscribed here to the Turn 3 Racing Network and you haven't smashed the bejesus out of that bell over there, you're missing out on some great racing action 7 days a week right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Everything E-Speed going down right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, and a big time shout out to all of the fans, friends, and family for getting us to where we are now, pushed for that 2,000 subscriber mark. We got it. Thank you to each and every one of you, from myself, Dave in the Cave, Roger, Al, KR, Chris, Rick, everybody else behind the scenes making things happen. We do appreciate each and every one of you, and a big time thank you and you're welcome from the whole crew here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. So we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break as we've got some action. Let's stay right here for a moment. Jim Ott came to pit road through all of that, and Justin Gann has went back to the top of the speed charts, but Gann is going to have to come to pit road here in a handful of laps. Man, I'm telling you, these drivers are not going to have near enough fuel, man. It's going to be super, super close for a handful of these drivers. A lot of smoke coming down pit road. Looks like drivers having some lockups here. There's Jason Ayerson. He's battling with Todd Cray. That's 9th and 10th on the track. Both of those drivers have already made their green flag pit stop. Extending the run at the front of the field, race leader Justin Gann, Nick Hunt, Tommy Haynes, 1, 2, 3 on the track. There you can see Justin Gann as he's got Todd Gray. 1 lap down, Jason Ayerson 1 lap down, Gluckner, Ott, both 1 lap down, Gary May all the way in the 4th position, 1 lap down, just 3 drivers remain on the lead lap. Here comes Darren Clement. He's trying to get himself at least just 1 lap down. He's going to do so with those fresher tires, but is Gann stretching it out on the fuel to make it just a 1-stopper? Or a 2-stop race. He's going to have to stay out there for, I don't know, another 5, 4, 3? Somewhere in that range. 3 to 5 laps is what he's going to need to save here. I'm just not sure you can save that much this late in the run. It's going to be a tough one. Tommy Haynes, last driver, sitting on the lead lap, sitting in the 3rd position, the 17 Toyota Supra, sitting well. And here's Michael Mueller, the man that was the biggest mover for most of the race, the majority of the time. That 51 sliced and diced his way through the field and up inside the top 5. He now runs in 10th with his 2nd pit stop in the books. Jim Thorndike gonna pull the 59 to pit road, as well as Jeff Gluckner. That's gonna leave us with just 4 drivers left to make their green flag pit stop. Great racing action right here. This is going to be a battle for position on the speedway. Both of these drivers listed 1 lap down, but your top 4 have yet to come to pit road for the 2nd time. Their 2nd green flag pit stop still yet to be had. Jason Ayerson and Todd Gray go at it through 1 and 2 down this short back stretch. It into the little bit of a roller coaster ride, turn 3. Kind of go up over a hill and down into the corner, and right here on the exit of 4, you kind of elevator up out of the corner. The right side kind of rolls over, lurches over on that right side as you come up out of the corner here, especially on turn 2 as well. You get thrown into that outside wall pretty easily, and surprisingly, we haven't seen too much of that here tonight. Few drivers with some scrapes out there through the field, as could be expected coming to the Monster Mile. But we have been green flag racing all night long. How about that? That has got to say enough right here about these drivers in Swift Motorsports. If you're looking to rub elbows and give yourself a shot at running with some of the best, check them on out on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. You can go right there to the lead directories, type in Swift Motorsports, reach out to one of these admins of one of the multiple different series here with Swift Motorsports. See if you can't find yourself out there on the track, mixing it up, battling for positions, race wins, and season championships, as we're going to crown a champion in just a handful of weeks. But first, who's going to get the job done at Dover? Justin Gann continuing to extend this green flag run. If he can make it just about another 3 laps here, if he can make it to lap 99, he is going to be able to make it off to just 1 more stop. This is going to be a big gamble from a chase driver, but he's looking to go back-to-back victory lane appearances. Justin Gann sits in the top spot. Tell you what, let's jump on board. Oh, saving massive amounts of fuel. I think he may be out. Oh, that was close. Not out of fuel. Still got some RPM on that gauge down there. So Justin Gann still under fire, still under power down the long, agonizing pit road here at Dover International Speedway. I would expect to see him give up quite a bit of time to the drivers that should eventually take the race lead. We're going to have 5 different lead changes here tonight as the 00 of Nick Hunt goes back to the top of the scoring pylon. Hunt still yet to come to pit road for his second time. He's going to definitely be able to stretch this thing from fuel all the way to the end of tonight's race. He's the only driver that is, I'm assured, I'm going to say assured, if he can pull off the same fuel runs that he has the past 2 times, the man on pit road will only pit twice, while everybody else may have to pit 3 times. We'll jump back out there on the track. Jim Ott going to go back to the point. 6th different lead change tonight amongst 4 different drivers. The Auto Owners Insurance Michigan native struggled a little bit during that first round of green flag racing, but was it really a struggle? Came to pit road, grabbed the race lead, held the race lead all the way through that second green flag run, and now after the second round of green flag pit stops are done and over with, he's back at the front of the field with that 3-second race advantage once again. Jim Ott looking like he may head to victory lane for the first time here this season. Ott has struggled to get to victory lane, has been all over in the podium spots, but just not quite able to get to victory lane. Will tonight be the night that we see a first-time race winner once again? It's been a long time since we've seen it. Will we see it once again here in the Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series? And as we've crossed the 100 lap mark, we're going to take a quick commercial break. But don't worry, race fans, you won't miss a thing as we go swift side by side. Track side up close and personal. Listen to those cars roar around this 1 mile concrete jungle Dover International Speedway Chase race number 3 well underway. 111 laps on the board out of the 150 scheduled tonight. And why don't we jump high above the track? Let's go to one of our turn 3 drone cams real quick. There you can see Nick Hunt in that double O machine running well here, knocking on the door of a solid top 5 finish. Hunt sits in 7th. Let's go back to the front though. Jim Ott, Jason Ayerson 1-2 on the speedway. Todd Cray now back in that 3rd position. Back in a podium spot. Michael Mueller has regained his track position as well. Inside the top 5, he sits in 4th, up 12 spots from where he started tonight's race. Justin Gann, your pole sitter, extending the fuel run all the way to lap number 97. Only one driver stayed out there longer, and that is the double O of Nick Hunt, sitting just off in front of Jason Ayerson. There you can see him with those fresher tires. He's going to try to track down race leader Jim Ott. And Nick Hunt's going to get himself back on the lead lap. I can assure you that. I'm not sure if him or Justin Gann plan on coming back to pit road. It's going to be a fuel strategy race for those two drivers as we stay high above the track with our turn 3 drone cam here at Dover International Speedway. Tell you what, race fans, let's get a little closer to the action once again. Drivers make their way off of turn number 4 back to the front stretch. We'll check back in with that double O of Nick Hunt, as he is one of the fastest drivers on the track last time around, running a 23.95. Race leader Jim Ott turned in a 24.54, so about a half a second faster right now is Nick Hunt. He is making up ground. He is making up time, but Jim Ott is continuing to put drivers one lap down. Lap 117 now on the board. These drivers have driven their tails off, building gaps, building leads. Todd Cray, Michael Mueller to pit road, Pierce Maffitt to pit road. A 3rd pit stop for multiple drivers already very early here tonight. They're going to get themselves in a position to run to the end of the race on the fuel-in tires. Darren Clement also to pit road, so 4 drivers breaking for their final pit stop of the night. Jim Ott, Jason Ayerson, Justin Gann, now your top 3. Nick Hunt, just like that, is going to get closer to getting himself back on the lead lap. And let's check this battle out. Let's get up close and watch this battle unfold. Nick Hunt has been able to drive by Justin Gann, and that is going to move Nick Hunt into the 3rd position. Last driver in a podium spot, but still, the driver is sitting in the lucky dog position. The double O of Nick Hunt listed 1 lap down. Justin Gann, your pole sitter, your points leader, sits a 1 lap down in the 4th position as well. 7.5 seconds separate your top 2 drivers. Then it's a full lap back to Nick Hunt and Justin Gann. Stephen Ayers Jr. able to get by Jarrett Lipster. That's going to be for the 16th position, as we have had our first retirement back on lap number 85. Lipster looks like he has pushed that 96 all the way to the hauler. The crew, long journey to get that Toyota loaded back up in the hauler. Looks like he'll head off to Chicagoland next week, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. That's right, the cutoff night for round number 2 will set your championship 8. Jim Ott and Jason Ayerson gonna pull to pit road. That's gonna give Nick Hunt, Justin Gann a chance. They're gonna get themselves not only back on the lead lap, but to the point. Once again goes that double O of Nick Hunt. He's opened up a half a second gap. This is going to be the battle for the race win, in my opinion. And unless my fuel numbers are off here, it looks like Nick Hunt and Justin Gann, they're going to be the two that battle it out for the race win. Tommy Haynes back 11 seconds, sitting in the third position. Jim Ott now rejoins the race. He's going to be back in the fourth position. And what has happened to Todd Cray? He's had trouble. He's back on the pit road, losing time, losing laps. Todd Cray drops 5 laps down here tonight, still trying to fix that 22 and get back out there on the track. Oh my goodness, what has happened to Cray? This is going to be a tough road to come back from Todd Cray, sitting in 6th in the points positions coming into tonight's race. 17 points back from Justin Gann, who sits in the 2nd position. Just a handful of points in front of Jim Ott. Just about 9 points, I believe it is, in front of Jim Ott. Yes, it is 9 points in front of Jim Ott, who's sitting in that 4th position. So a big-time gain here possibly by Ott, and Todd Cray could find himself in a very precarious situation heading into the final cutoff race here in the championship chase in season number 3 for the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. Todd Cray could see the 5 race wins on the season not translate into a chance for the championship trophy. And how tough of a fall from grace this may be for the driver inside of that 22. Todd Cray, a little bit of a rough go so far since we started the chase. Todd Cray struggles continue for the 22. 1.5 second gap now built by Nick Hunt. Is he playing the strategy of, let me get out front, force the gap, force Justin Gann to maybe use a little bit more fuel than he wants to, and allow me to maybe save a little bit more to ensure I've got enough to get to the end? Crossing the line that time, around 22 laps remaining for these drivers, and it appears that we have already got the fuel saving underway. It sounded like Justin Gann was way out of the gas. Tell you what, let's go back to the cheat sheet. Let's jump on board with the Ayers Eye Racing Paint sponsored 30 of Justin Gann. Not just clutching, turning the car all the way off in these corners. Justin Gann saves gas. Tell you what, we've got our cheat sheet on. Why don't we go ahead up here to Nick Hunt? Let's see what your race leader does. He's going to cross the line, begin 20 to go. And he's not saving any fuel. He's just floating it down there in the corner, trying to build that gap now while he can. And possibly do some fuel management later on. Oh, there it goes. Clutching now is Hunt. I knew it wasn't going to be long before he started to having to clutch. Running flat out for quite some time now. Less than 20 laps remaining here on this 1 mile concrete track. Dover International Speedway hosting chase race number 3 here tonight. Nick Hunt looks to put the Depends Guard Your Manhood 00 into victory lane. On a side note, I got way up the track goes Hunt. Saving fuel may have, well, almost got a little ugly for that 00. And a side note, got a really good buddy, or a great friend of mine that runs that 00 number as well here in the iRacing.com esports world. And he would be a fan of this paint scheme. This is right up my good buddy Roy Hyde's alley right here. That Garger manhood depend machine. Man, he'd be proud of what Nick Hunt's doing out there, and proud of that paint scheme on that Toyota Supra. There's a lot more people proud right now. All the fans of that 00 up on their feet, cheering and clapping, rooting their driver on. They're going to try to will that 00 to victory lane. Can he save enough fuel after building the gap, after running hard for multiple laps? He's built almost a 2-second advantage over Justin Gann, who just now crosses the line with 15 laps to go. We'll jump back through the field just a little bit. There's that 44 of Jason Ayerson. He was last on to pit road on lap 120. Only going to have about 30 laps on those on the tires, so he's going to have much fresher tires than the majority of the field right now. Looks like about 5 drivers are yet to come to pit road. Nick Hunt, Justin Gann yet to make a third stop here tonight. Tommy Haynes as well as Gary May in the 10, sitting back in the 8th position, 1 lap down. He's yet to come to pit road for a third and final time, but will any of those drivers have to pit again? And Todd Cray's woes continue. The hood still up on that 22. "13 laps to go, and things are gonna heat up at the front. Justin Gann has gained a ton of time. There you can see him around the back markers, and now he'll close in on that 00. Whoa, dropping to the bottom of the speedway. I believe that was the 41 of Pierce Maffitt? Yes, it was Maffitt going by. Nick Hunt now gonna be under fire as he's trying to save some fuel. Whoa, that's the 98 of Hunter Collier that made his way by Justin Gann. Now makes his way by your race leader. Collier gonna get himself 1 lap back, still sitting 4 laps down on the race here tonight. A handful of drivers caught up with some trouble here at Dover International Speedway. Miles collecting cars. He's already grabbed the 96. Looks like he tried to snatch the soul of the 31. Stephen Ayers Jr. hard contact on lap 1. He's got that machine fixed up and running out there on the track. Stephen Ayers Jr. moves into the 16th position, but Miles very well may have claimed another one. The 22 of Todd Cray may not get back out on the track. Crossing the line this time by 0.3 of a second. Separate your top 2. But here come the fresh tires of Jim Ott. He's a half a second back behind Justin Gann. Both strategies coming together at the end of tonight's 150 lap shootout here at the short track Dover International Speedway. We're going to have some fireworks, folks. Man, oh man, closer to the action. They work their way off of turn 2. Justin Gann with a run down the backstretch. He's going to block the 4 for a moment. No, the 4 still going to force the issue down to the bottom of the track. He'll pull side by side with Gann battling for the second spot. Both of those drivers focusing on Nick Hunt, and Gann going to drop a spot. He'll fall to 3rd. Next man on the list is Nick Hunt. Can Nick Hunt somehow keep that 00 out in front? Close racing action right there between these two drivers as we look down the right side of that 00 of Hunt. Jim Ott not able to get by just yet. Man, what a battle. 3-car battle for the race lead as we cross the line. Hi, how you doing? The high five by the boss man, Al Smith, up there in the flag stand. A little bit of a boring night for K.R. Stolfus, the outlaw down there driving the pace car. He hasn't seen much action, and we're going to have to check down the hall on Andy Starcher and Don Kidder as well. Make sure they're awake because we have been clean and green all night long here at Dover International Speedway. And Todd Cray going to grab the top spot and contact between Gann and Hunt. They beat, they bang, they save it. We stay green flag here. Wow. Oh, and more contact. Big wreck on the backstretch. Caution flag flies for the first time with 4 to go. Oh my gosh, this changes everything. Let's jump back, take a look, see what happened with the turn 3 replay. Close battle, contact with Gluckner, and no, that was Justin Gann. That was not Nick Hunt. We thought it was Nick Hunt. Oh my goodness, your pole sitter. Trouble. Let's take one more look. Oh, catching it late, my gosh. Tell you what, one more look at it here, race fans. Let's see how it all went down. There's that initial contact. That's what started it all. Driver still battling close, and there's the contact with Gannon. Oh, the 31. Hard impact for Stephen Ayers Jr. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that is a hard lick. Whew. We will jump back live down onto pit road, making their pit stops, what will end up being the final pit stops of the race. And Darren Clement, he's gonna stay out. Darren Clement gonna go to the top of that scoring pylon for the first time here tonight. That's going to give us our 5th different race leader, 8 different lead changes here tonight, 1 caution flag. Whew. We've been running at it so hot and heavy so far here tonight. We haven't had a chance to double check in with the weather report. Let's see how the track's faring out there. Track temperature rising significantly. We started tonight's race in happy hour, 69 degrees, 67 in qualifying. We are now at 81 degrees as the track temperature is going to fall just a little bit as these drivers make their way around here under caution flag conditions. Darren Clement going to give up that top spot, so that's going to mean Jim Ott back to the front once again. 9 different lead changes, 5 different race leaders. Jim Ott with a chance to secure his first win of the season. Oh my gosh, it's about to go down. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with all your green flag action. You won't miss a thing as we go swift side by side one more time. Coming back full screen live, pace car lights are off. The boss man's got the flag in hand. We're set to go green flag racing as Jim Ott drops the hammer, nails the loud pedal, and green flag flies. Once again here at Dover International Speedway, Ott looking to secure his first race win. Here comes Michael Mueller in third. He's looking to take second away from Jason Ayerson. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks when we drop the green flag. Working their way back through turn number 3. Ott continues to lead. Tommy Haynes is going to make a position on Gary May. White flag, final lap here at Dover. Jason Ayerson with a look on the inside of Jim Ott. Not going to be there through the center of 1 and 2. He'll get a good run down the backstretch. Ott going to block that inside lane. Ayerson forced to the top. He's going to keep him at bay with a great run down the backstretch. And oh, hard impact from Jason Ayerson into the outside wall. But Jim Ott secures his first win of the season. How about that first-time race winner right here in chase race number 3 for the Swift MotorSports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. What a finish. Man. Give credit where credit is due. This man right here deserves the smoke show. Battled hard all season long, smoking the tires on the front stretch. Jim Ott captures the flag here tonight from Dover International Speedway. With that being said, race fans, we're going to step away for a brief sponsored commercial. We'll step back with all your post-race interviews right here from Dover. Back trackside once again at the conclusion of another barn burner here with Swift Motorsports butt kicker Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series. Man, what a run. We seen fuel mileage. We seen fast pace on fresh tires. Man, I'm telling you what, it doesn't get much better than that. And with that being said, let's see if we can't go now trackside and try to catch up with some of your podium finishing drivers here tonight. Let's first see if we can't check in with the driver that gained the most positions here tonight, the 51 of Michael Mueller. It's Dave in the booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How you feeling after that run?
That was a long race. Coming from the back to the front, that was long, but I'll take it.
You said it right there, back to the front. 13 positions gained. Literally, you were on the last row of the starting grid. Man, not to just finish in a podium spot, but how good does it feel to drive through the field at a tough track here like Dover?
I knew I had the pace. I really do enjoy this place. I wish we had more tracks like this. It really shows who could save the tires and who could really be easy on the throttle and get back into it when needed. And like tonight, it came down to fuel strategy. So it's really good time. So.
Well, Michael, as we get down to these final few races of the season, I say final few, we've got 2 left. Next week, we head to Chicago. We'll take a brief little break and then head to Miami. What's your outlook on these last 2 races, and what's the game plan from there?
I mean, we're not going for the championship, so we want the trophies. So we're going to go out and we're going to win. We're going to race hard, and I know these guys are going for a chase, but don't mean they have to win the chase. I just want to win the races. So,
Well,
go into it every week the same way we do.
Well, if it means racing like we seen tonight, you spoil the show, my man, because it was one heck of a race here tonight. Congratulations walking away with the 3rd place, the final spot on the podium here tonight. Before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Of course, all my guys back at M2 Speed Labs. Fortunately, we don't have a paint on the car right now, but we will get one on there for next season. Justin, Don, Andy, Gary, Darren, everybody who puts this show on weekly. You in the booth, obviously, it's always a good time to go back and watch these through the week and see what we could have done different, see what we can change. It actually does help. So I do appreciate you for being here, and good job to the other 2 guys, Jim and Jason.
All right. Well, we do appreciate the kind words. I'm sure the rest of the field appreciates the kind words as well. And, well, we'll see if we can't talk to you in these post-race interviews again here in these final 2 races.
Absolutely. We're going to go for it. So hopefully we'll see you next week.
All right, there you have it. Michael Mueller, happy with the finish here tonight, and why not up 13 spots from where he started tonight's race to finish inside a podium spot. The 51 Toyota Supra walks away with 3rd. That's going to move us right along to one of the familiar faces. We've seen him multiple times throughout the season. Let's see if we can't catch up and have a few words with the driver that was giving it everything he had on that last lap. Let's see if we can't catch up with Jason Harrison in that 44. It's Dave in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
I am doing fabulous as always. How about you?
Man, I'll tell you what. After this summer I've had so far, this is freaking awesome.
I hear you, man. Well, I want to mention something here. How do you feel about knowing that the 2 drivers in 1 and 2, well, you're both from Michigan? A little bit of bragging rights with that?
Oh, yeah. They were just here last week, had a great race here, and this is bragging rights for Michigan, and, go blue.
So I've had the pleasure of being in Michigan, living in Michigan for quite about 2 years or so. There's some back roads that are just straight up dirt. Does that help you on concrete?
I live out in the country. There's dirt roads. There's roads with holes in them. So I would say everything helps. I mean, you got craters, you got dirt, you got cows, you got chickens. It all works.
I hear you, my man. Well, coming into tonight's race, How are you feeling about coming into a short track and then heading to a much longer speedway at Chicago for this second round in the chase?
Coming to Dover, I really like Dover. I've always done well here for whatever reason. And then Jim and I, we got into a practice session, and then we just really we hit upon something, and it really paid off. He called a lot of the stops tonight, over the radio, and we planned some strategy, and in pitting, and it just everything fell through in total execution tonight.
Well, it was some great execution, able to get yourselves right back there with that late race pit stop, had the pace on those fresh tires, walked away with a second place here tonight. So, again, Jason, congratulations on the great finish. We do appreciate you taking some time to speak with us here in the post race interviews. Before we let you go, though, you know the drill. Thank yous, love you, shout outs.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife for doing this, my mom watching, all my friends that support Jim and I doing this and watch week in and week out. This one's for you guys. Thanks a lot so much for watching. Thank you, Dave. Thanks to the admins in the league, and let's go get them again next week.
Absolutely. We'll hope to see you back here in these post race interviews next week. What do you say?
Hey, sounds good.
All right, there you have it. Jason Harrison out of Carlton, Michigan. He says they've got craters in the road. Craters. And you know what? I believe him. I've driven on some of them back dirt country roads in Michigan. Nonetheless, Jason Harrison getting the job done, walks away with a great podium finish here tonight. He'll finish tonight's race in the second position, and that's going to move us right along to the driver that walked away with the top spot. First time here tonight in the post-race victory lane interview. Jim Ott, it's Dave. How you doing, bro?
Doing great, Dave. Doing great.
I hear ya, man. First win of the season. How's it feel to get that monkey off your back?
Oh, dude, it's amazing. Couldn't have come at a better time. I needed this win so bad to be relevant. And I know I had the speed, and a lot of the mistakes I've made in the past have been in my doing. And tonight, just executing on both ends, pits and tracks. So, man, I couldn't be more proud.
Well, you said it right there. I don't want to say you said it best, but this race win really needed for you and the Ford crew. You came into tonight's race in the point standings kind of on the outside looking in, outside of those top 8 points positions. And with this race win, that's going to put you pretty much securely as one of those drivers that has a shot for the championship at Homestead. So what's your plans going to Chicago? Are you going out to try to win that race, or you're just looking for a solid points day to ensure you move on to Homestead?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely looking for the win. I mean, I probably won't put myself in any, jeopardizing position to, I got to stay in that top 4, 6, whatever it is. And, I'm not going to lose focus, but, the momentum's huge now, and I can kind of start thinking about Homestead a little bit now.
Well, man, 150 laps around a tough little track here. You never made contact with the outside wall. A few drivers with some contact. What did you think when we seen the contact on that late race caution? How did you feel knowing that you had 2 laps to keep some hungry drivers behind you?
At that point, man, I was disgusted. I knew, I already got around Nick and Justin. I knew they were trying to get that fuel run, and at that point, it was just smooth sailing. And I knew obviously once the caution comes out, we're tight, and it's a whole different race. So um, I'm just so glad I was able to hold Jay back because he was coming. He backed up that 4, and he was going to have a run on me. So. Uh, Man, again, couldn't be more proud. Awesome race.
Well, Jim, congratulations once again, walking away with the checkered flag here tonight. First race win on the season. Pretty much all but securing your shot at a championship run here in season number 3. So before we let you go and enjoy the night and celebrate away, would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home at the shop?
Of course, family and friends for watching, you, man, for what you do up there. I love the broadcast. And Jason, man, me and him got some some damn good practice in tonight, and I mean, if we didn't have that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now. So hats off to him and our team.
All right. Well, we'll see what you can get done at Chicagoland, and we'll hope to talk to you in post-race interviews sometime before this season's out.
Absolutely, Dave. Thanks so much.
All right, there you go. You heard it from the man on screen, walking away with his first checkered flag of the season. Couldn't have come at a better time for Jim Ott. He'll walk away with his hands raised, his head held high, and he will head off into Chicagoland with a little bit of a buffer zone. A little bit of a safety net here as this race win for Jim Ott from Dover International Speedway. That's going to do it for your post-race interviews here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We do want to say thank you to each and every one of the drivers out here making this a great race here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network for Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker, Breezy Acre Dairy Farms Xfinity Series, and what a season it's been. And we've got 2 more races left before we will crown a champion. Who's it gonna be? Who's got what it takes? We'll have to wait to see. So we'll begin to roll up the chords as producers begin to hit those music buttons in the background. You know those tunes, you know the sounds. It's time to go ahead and run down tonight's unofficial race results here in Chase Race number 3 for the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Breezy Acre Dairies Farms Xfinity Series. Jim Ott gonna grab the checkered flag while the 51 of Michael Mueller. That's interesting. We've got Michael Mueller showing up in second over here, but it looks like he was third on the racetrack. We'll have to double check that with race officials. Once again, this is why it is the unofficial finishing results. Jason Ayerson, however, back in the third spot. Nick Hunt gonna bring the Gardner Manhood Depends 00 into the 4th finishing spot. Rounding out your top 5 here tonight, Darren Clement. Pierce Maffett back in 6th. 7th place goes to John Wimbish. Jim Thorndike gonna finish in 8th. 9th place goes to Tommy Haynes. Gary May back in 10th. Jeff Gluckner in the 24 home in 11th spot. 12th place tonight goes to the 98 of Hunter Collier. Justin Gann. Chad Osborne back in 14th. Gann with some big trouble late in the race involved in our one and only caution of the evening. Tough break for your points leader and your pole sitter here tonight. The woes continue on the track for the driver inside of that 22 machine. Todd Cray gonna walk away after some late race trouble in the 16th position. And rounding out the field here tonight is the Rowdy Energy 96 of Jarrett Lipstruer. Big time shout out to the admins in race control just down the hall in their booth, keeping track of all the action on the track. Andy Starcher, Don Kidder, not just for what they've done tonight, but what they do week in, week out here at Swift Motorsports. Big tip of the cap, gentlemen. Pizza's on us. And well, race fans, with that being said, not much left to do except roll up the cords and turn out the lights. We'll get set to go racing once again next week here with Swift Motorsports. If you haven't already, join us in that push to 2,000 subscribers. Help us get to 3,000. Tell your friends, tell your family. Drop these drivers thumbs up. Click subscribe, smash the bell. Over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until then, we'll meet you in Turn 3.